Aloha ahi ahi kako, aloha. Aloha and welcome to our gala this evening. Mahalo for finding your seats. I'll get started in about 15 seconds. I'll give you a moment to find your seat. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look at the person that is seated to your right and the person that is seated to your left. And I'm going to have you make 3 hand motions. The first motion is point to someone who's still standing. Go ahead, point to someone who's still standing. All right. Now you realize when you did that, 3 of them were pointing back at you. So that was a reward. Thank you for being seated. So as we begin this evening, our spirit of aloha. I will start with 3 hand motions. Here's the first one. With your right hand, would you make a fist? With your left hand, would you please put it over your fist? That is the first motion this evening as we honor. We're going to honor this evening our heritage. Second hand motion I'd like you to do. Would you intertwine your fingers like this? As we do this evening, this is embracing our diversity. The third hand motion that I'd love for you to do is would you open your hand palms up like this? This evening we share our future together. Now what I'd like you to do is every other person, with your left hand, would you palm down? Right hand, palm up. And would you please connect with the person that is seated next to you? That intertwines, okay, go ahead, talk for a second, figure it out. Wow, that was cool, all right. What we are doing now is we are honoring our heritage, embracing our diversity, and sharing our future as we are connected with our neighbor this evening. I'm going to do a simple oli for us as we begin our gala. Continue to connect with that person, for in Hawai'i, we are all about aloha and sharing the spirit. So stay there and receive this oli. E ho'i oli o kou, ya Yehova e na aina apau. E malama ya Yehova, ma me ka hauli. E hele aku I mua ona me ka oli ana. E ike ho'i o kou, o Yehova ola no ke akua. Na kako I hana, a ole na kako iho. O kona po'e ke ka naka hoi kako. A me na hipa na I hanai ai. E komo o kou I loko o kona I puka ke mamililani. A loko ho'i o kona kahua me kale halelu. E mililani aku iaia. A e ho'o maikai aku ho'i I kona inoa. No ka mea ua maikai o Yehova. Ua mauloa kona loko maikai. A me kona ioi o ho'i I na hanau na apau. A me ne no ke aku apau. Aloha and welcome this evening. Would you give a high five to those people that you were just holding hands with, and welcome to our sharing of the aloha.
Thank you, Kahu Kekoa, for the beautiful oli. Thank you, Kenny Endo and the Taiko Center of the Pacific for opening the evening's festivities. Good evening and welcome to the Spirit of Aloha Gala. I'm Ken Hayashida, Chairman of JCCH Board of Directors. JCCH's mission is to be a vibrant resource, strengthening our diverse community by educating present and future generations in the evolving Japanese-American experience in Hawaii. These honorees, Christine Kubota, Coach Gerald Oda, and the Honolulu Little League team, Alan Oshima, Len Sakata, Chef Alan Wong, and Carol Hayashino, are exemplary leaders who have shared our Japanese-American values and traditions, plus our Aloha spirit with the world. We are blessed to have them. At this time, I'd like to thank and recognize JCCH Board of Directors. So if the Board of Directors and our Board of Governors could please stand up and be recognized. Thank you, Tyler, Scott, Jamie, Darren. Thank you for joining us tonight. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our MC for the evening, Yunji Denise. Yunji hosts Insights on PBS and also does daily news videos for Hawaii Star Advertiser. Previously, she anchored KITV Evening News, and she's also a White House and national correspondent for ABCs. So please help me in welcoming Yunji Denise.
Thank you so much, Ken. Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm Yunji Denise. I'm so honored to be with you on this wonderful evening to serve as your MC for the 2019 Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, Sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. Through their years of public service, creative achievements, educational support, and volunteerism, the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii is proud to honor the following individuals and organizations who have truly exemplified the spirit of aloha. Christine Kubota, Coach Gerald Oda, and the 2018 Honolulu Little League team, Alan Oshima, Len Sakata, Chef Alan Wong, and Carol Hayashino. We applaud and thank you for your service and dedication to our community. Now, before we pay tribute to our wonderful honorees, I do hope that you enjoyed the reception and had a chance to check out the silent auction. I know I did. There are hundreds of items, Neighbor Island golf packages, some beautiful art. There's certificates for restaurants, wine selections, staycation packages, wearable art, and hopefully my husband buys me some jewelry tonight. You will all have throughout the dinner to bid on your silent auction items. Submit your bids on your mobile device so you have no excuse to let that stuff get away. You can see any of our bidding assistants if you have a little trouble with that. You can spot them easily. They are the ones wearing the red lei. And if you haven't already done so, you can also purchase your golden ticket. This is really awesome. Okay. You win a special grand prize. Well, you don't necessarily win. You're eligible to win a special grand prize San Francisco travel package. It includes 2 owner's seat tickets to a 2020 San Francisco Giants game, along with a coveted parking pass, exclusive Gotham Club access, a luxurious 2-night stay at the Palace Hotel, and 100,000 Hawaiian Airlines miles to get you there. And there are only 100 golden tickets for sale for this amazing package, so your odds of winning are pretty good. The golden ticket must be pulled at the end of the evening tonight, and you have to be here to win. All the proceeds from tonight's event support the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii's educational programs, cultural programs, and historic preservation efforts. The very reason, of course, we are here tonight. And if you haven't taken part of any of their programs, please do make it a point to do so over the next year or so. I guarantee you will not regret it. Tonight, JCCH joins our honorees to welcome a ballroom filled with family and friends. Let's begin with introductions to the guests seated at the head table. We ask you to hold your applause until the end. Recipients of the 2019 Spirit of Aloha Awards, Chef Alan Wong and Miss Alice Inouye, Mr. Alan Oshima and Miss Joanne Oshima, Mr. Len Sakata and Shane Sakata, Mr. Gerald Oda and Joni Oda, Miss Christine Kubota and Mr. Sadao Takahashi, Miss Carol Hayashino and Mr. Kyle Tatsumoto. Please give them a warm aloha. We are also privileged to have joining us this evening the Mayor of Honolulu, Mayor Kirk Caldwell, and his wife, Miss Donna Tanoe, Governor of Hawaii, the Honorable David Ige and Mrs. Dawn Ige, U.S. Senator, the Honorable Brian Schatz, U.S. Representative, the Honorable Ed Case and his wife, Mrs. Audrey Case, former Governor George Ariyoshi and Miss Jean Ariyoshi, and Consul General of Japan, the Honorable Koichi Ito. Please give them your aloha as well. Finally, the people who make all of this happen, our own JCCH leaders at the head table, JCCH President and Executive Director, J.C. Michaelonic, along with JCCH Board Chair Ken Hayashida and Mrs. Donna Hayashida. They have worked tirelessly tonight, them and a wonderful team. We also want to acknowledge some special guests in the audience. And please hold your applause to the end because we have so many special guests. We want your hands not to get too tired. Former U.S. Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa, Councilwoman Ann Kobayashi, and please do give a wave, let everybody know where you are tonight. State Senator Glenn Wakai, State Senator Brian Taniguchi, State House Speaker Scott Saiki, State Representative Bert Kobayashi, Honorary Consul General of Japan and JCCH Board Member Art Taniguchi, our wonderful Kahu Cordell Kekoa, 2019 Cherry Blossom Queen Lauren Sugai, President of the Honolulu Japanese Junior Chamber of Commerce Kristen Alm Kamakahi, the Japan American Society of Hawaii's own Reina Kaneko, Arnold Hiura of the Hawaii Japanese Center from Hilo, Bishop Eric Matsumoto from the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii, Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce President Wayne Ishihara, Japan American Society of Hawaii President, we read her twice, so nicely read her twice, Reina Kaneko, Wende Abe from U.S.-Japan Council, United Japanese Society of Hawaii past President Faye Shigimura, Teresa Ono from the Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California. Quite a list. Let's give them a warm aloha tonight as well. Thank you to all of our distinguished guests. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now, on behalf of the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, we want to acknowledge tonight's Shogun sponsors for our event: Bayer, Hawaiian Electric Company, Hilo Boys, Island Insurance Company, PAR Hawaii, the Queen's Health Systems, Wing Spirit Incorporated. Thank you all for your generous support. Our daimyo sponsors this evening are American Savings Bank, Bank of Hawaii, Central Pacific Bank, Damon Key Leong Kupchak Hastert, First Hawaiian Bank, First Insurance Company of Hawaii, this one might be my favorite, Friends of Carol, Hawaiian Electric Industries, Hawaiian Properties Limited, Kai Hawaii, Waihata, and Donna Odanaka Walden. Thank you to all of our sponsors, guests, and donors tonight. Your support and contributions and presence mean the world to us this evening. At this time, we'd like to welcome Consul General of Japan, Mr. Koichi Ito, with some words to the stage. Thank you.
Good evening and aloha. 皆さんこんばんは。I'm pleased to join all of you at this year's Sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. I know that they will be recognized and honored later in the program, but I'd like to offer my congratulations in advance to our honorees for this evening. Coach Gerard Oda and the 2019 Honolulu Little League World Series team, Mr. Len Sakata, Ms. Christine Kubota, Mr. Alan Oshima, Chef Alan Won, and Ms. Carol Hayashino. These individuals embrace the spirit and values of the Issei while instilling through their work the importance of giving back to the community. Their collective contributions, whether through the education and the mentoring of our keiki, through the arts, culture, and sports, through community advocacy, or through activities to strengthen the relationship between Hawaii and Japan at the grassroots level, have gone toward building solid foundation for the local community, and most importantly, toward Hawaii's future. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii for their tireless efforts and dedications to recognize outstanding community leaders and their long-standing achievements. And to our honorees this evening, may you continue to serve as an inspiration to all of us and our younger generations. Thank you for your kind attention. Mahalo, nui loa, arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Consul General Koichi Ito. To provide us with words of gratitude, please welcome Bishop Eric Matsumoto of the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii.
Good evening. If you would please join me in a gesture of reverence and respect of your choosing for a moment of reflection and expression of gratitude before this evening's meal. In the nurturing presence of immeasurable life and infinite light, Amida, let us reflect. Right now, are we looking down on our food? It is a Japanese custom of old to humbly express our awareness and appreciation every time before and at the end of a meal. Hence, at the beginning of each meal, we say, "Itadakimasu," or we humbly and gratefully receive this food, to express our awareness of the precious gift of other lives, the plants and animals, which will nourish our bodies and thus enable us to live another unrepeatable day. May we humbly and gratefully live in the awareness that my life is supported by so many other countless lives, including the support we receive from our natural environment. Further, at the end of each meal, there is the custom of saying, "Gochiso sama deshita," which is said in gratitude in the awareness that our host this evening, the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, and the farmers and fishermen, truck drivers and storekeepers, and especially the chef, cooks, and servers, to name a few, have literally, as the ancient Chinese characters portray, quote, busily ran about on a horse-drawn cart, end quote, to prepare the meal we just enjoyed. We express our gratitude to our host and the staff for their hospitality and care in preparing the meal we enjoyed. As an eminent religious leader, His Eminence Kojin Otani shares, quote, "Everything in the world exists based on interdependency. When we are not aware of this, we tend to think that our own perspective is the only one that is right and just. We're all living interconnected with each other in some way or another. It is extremely unfortunate if we forget that we have this beautiful connection to one another," end quote. Tonight, illuminated and guided by the light of wisdom and compassion, may we become open to wider horizons and deeper perspectives and live each day in a way which will simultaneously benefit both self and others, as have our distinguished honorees. Please join me now to gratefully and humbly look up to our food. Namo Amida Butsu and Itadakimasu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bishop Matsumoto, for that beautiful blessing. Dinner service, of course, now begins. Enjoy your meal. Remember, the silent auction is open throughout dinner, so we actually encourage you to look at your phones, unlike usual. Keep an eye out on your bids during dinner. Don't forget to get your golden tickets for that exclusive San Francisco Giants travel package. As a reminder, of course, please validate your parking in the lobby and prepay at the pay stations located in the foyer. During your dinner service this evening, we also have a very special musical performance. Please enjoy the alluring sounds from Brian Chang and Shoji Ledward. Thank you and enjoy your meal.
All right, everyone. Aloha. Just sit back and relax. Fly with me, let's fly. Let's fly away. If you can use some exotic boots, there's a bar in far, far bay. Fly with me, let's fly away. Come on, fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll do his food for you. Come on, fly with me, let's go down to the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just slide, oh, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so very near. You may hear choir of angels cheer just because we're there. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words, and we'll beat those birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for flying, honeymoon, they say. Come on, fly with me, let's fly away. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just slide, oh, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so very near. You may hear choir of angels cheer just because we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words, and we'll beat those birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for flying, honeymoon, they do say. Come on, fly with me. Come on, fly with me. Come on, fly with me. Pack your bags and fly away. Pack your bags and fly away. Yeah.
Let's give Brian and Shoji another round of applause for that beautiful music throughout our delicious meal. Mahalo for that. We are at the 35-minute silent auction countdown now, and I want to remind you, you can bid on your phones, and if you haven't figured out how to do that, we totally understand. There are those folks in the lobby with the red lei, and they can help you out. There are still some amazing items, including a lot of sports memorabilia, plenty of autographed baseballs. We also have baseball cards that are signed. I saw an Xbox out there, an iPad. some rounds of golf for Nanea Golf Course, a 2-night stay at the Halekulani, of course, a stay here at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. You could go to Kauai. There's some delicious wine, including a 2016 Cabernet Sauvignon that is highlighted for me to mention here, the Memento Mori. So we definitely want you to go out there and bid, and do buy those golden tickets. I just checked in. They've sold only about 65. They're only selling 100 total. So your odds of winning are very good. And so go out and do that. It's a wonderful way to spend $100 for some great prizes. I want to take you on a little history lesson now. So join me with this. In 2015, President Barack Obama established the Honouli'uli National Monument by presidential proclamation. JCCH played a key role in that effort. Earlier this year, through the leadership of the Hawaii Congressional Delegation, the U.S. Congress designated Honouli'uli as a National Historic Site. Both designations ensure the preservation of Honouli'uli into the future. We ask you now to turn your attention to the video monitors.
Research and preservation efforts are ongoing at the site of the Honouli'uli internment camp. But what relevance does preserving this site have for our modern society and our current generations?
When people are marginalized for whatever reason, are taken as the enemy or associated with the enemy, we can be pretty cruel and treat entire groups of people as non-people. Having the sites available for people to really look at, think about, visit, provides a really concrete way in which people can say, okay, racial profiling, whether it's after 9/11 and it's Middle Eastern people or Sikhs or people with turbans or whatever, who we think might constitute an imminent danger to the United States, and the use of torture and all of those kinds of things. It seems to me those are things that we need to really, really carefully think about.
But I think people's experiences have to be talked about and delivered so that maybe we can minimize that discrimination.
I think it should be preserved so that people know that this kind of thing happened in the United States, in Hawaii.
Honouli'uli preservation is so important because of its educational value. It can be a living resource for the present generations to research, to recover, to restore, and to remember.
People don't know that there was a thing like Honouli'uli internment camp, but they're getting to know now, so we should preserve it.
There are some who say, well, why talk about it? I think we should, if only to remind ourselves that this can happen in our democracy if we're not vigilant, because it did.
Efforts are ongoing to preserve Honouli'uli and open it to the general public as a historic site.
The Honouli'uli National Historic Site began in 2007 with a pledge to preserve the historic site from landowner Monsanto Hawaii, now Bayer. In 2014, Monsanto donated 123 acres to the federal government to ensure its preservation, and in the following year, the Honouli'uli National Monument was established. Since 2014, Monsanto, now Bayer, has continued to support the vision and plans for the Honouli'uli National Historic Site. They have continued to partner with the JCCH to provide access to this historic site and to support JCCH's educational work through a generous donation of $100,000. It's through their support that JCCH was able to create the Honouli'uli Education Center, produce the new documentary Voices Behind the Barbed Wire, and publish Resilient Spirit, Voices of the Internees. On behalf of the JCCH Board of Directors, we'd like to thank Bayer for fulfilling its pledge to the community to honor the history of Japanese Americans here in Hawaii. So please join me in acknowledging Bayer, and in particular, will Alan Takemoto and Dan Clegg please stand and allow us to recognize you. Thank you so much to Bear. And I've been asked one more time to remind you, you have 20 minutes to place those bids into the silent auction and, of course, buy one of those coveted golden tickets. At this time, we'd like to welcome to the podium the Honorable Senator Brian Schatz.
Good evening and aloha. First, I want to say congratulations to this year's honorees. Chef Allen, Coach Oda, and the entire Little League team, Len, Christine, Alan, each of you in your own way has made all of us proud. You've set the bar for excellence, for others in your field of work and in service to the community, and you've helped shape the future of our state based on all of our shared values. Now, I'd like to say a particular congratulations to Carol, who is one of the most extraordinary community organizers I've ever met. She has an understanding, please. She has an understanding of where people are coming from and of the AJA community, past, present, and future, that enables her to get things done. I know from personal experience that you just say yes the first time because you don't want to disappoint her. She is just a spectacular human being, and she has been at the core of Japanese American leadership in the broader community. And I have confidence that JCCH will remain at the moral and cultural center of our state under JC's leadership because he's extraordinary in his own right. Here's a guy from Indianola, Iowa, who through commitment and passion and talent for listening has earned everyone's trust. He understands that the nature of civil rights and human rights is that we are all in this together, and that's one of the reasons that he's been handed the baton from Carol. Now, my partnership with JCCH came through the work that we all did at Honouliuli, and for me, it reinforced the leadership of the Japanese American community in Hawaii because the people in this room recognize the values of civil rights extended beyond the Japanese American community. And that's why the Honouliuli Education Center is so moving. It allows people to understand the internment camp, to experience it, to picture it physically, and to imagine what it was like to be unjustly interned. By telling the story of the AJAs, it tells the story of Muslims and Jews, of LGBTQ community, of refugees at the southern border right now. In each of these stories, there is a core violation of people's freedom and dignity, and JCCH is there to remind us that we said never again. That sentiment is being tested, but it is because of organizations like JCCH that they remind us what is special about the people in this room, special about the state of Hawaii, and special about our country. So I want to congratulate the honorees and appreciate JCCH tonight. Mahalo. Aloha.
Thank you so much, Senator Schatz. It's now my pleasure at this time to welcome to the podium the Honorable Governor David Ige.
Aloha. It really is a privilege for Don and I to be part of tonight's gala celebration, sharing the spirit of aloha, especially honoring so many outstanding individuals in our community. I just really wanted to thank J.C. Mikalunik and the JCCH Board of Directors for your commitment to continue to celebrate outstanding individuals who truly make our community a community here in the islands. And I especially wanted to thank the staff, the donors, the volunteers for the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii. You truly have become the center of so many initiatives here that makes our community better. As you know, last year was the year of Ganemono and the 150th anniversary celebration, and we really want to thank JCCH for your part in that celebration. I do know that the final stone monument that we installed at Honolulu Hale, and thank Mayor Caldwell for making that arrangement, will truly become a commemoration that all of us can rally to remember where we came from and those who came before us. I'm really privileged to be able to honor and recognize those winning the Spirit of Aloha Awards this evening. You know, for those of you who know Pro City is all about Little League Baseball. It is such a terrific experience for me to have dinner between Len Sakata and Coach Gerald Oda, the two people who have made it to the World Series. You know, Len Sakata, the first Hawaii born and raised player, to demonstrate to all of our young people that you can achieve at the highest level. And Coach Oda, who really taught us about winning with graciousness and being humble, and really emphasizing and demonstrating in the midst of a couple of hurricanes that could distract our population, how important it is for our children to really have role models to pursue. I just wanted to also congratulate Christine Kubota, who was so an important part of our Ganemono planning and celebration, an accomplished attorney, and most importantly, a community leader here in the Honolulu. You know, if there is any issue that is important, Christine is involved. You know, Alan Oshima, CEO of Hawaiian Electric Company, my partner in our commitment to a clean, renewable energy future, Alan. But I think most importantly, for those of you who know him, he is a true advocate for public education and believing that public education should be the first choice for all of our students here in the islands. And Chef Alan Wong, who really initiated and started the whole Hawaii regional cuisine. You know, Alan, you have launched so many in our public schools who have really committed to follow in your footsteps, can see and envision a career in food and cooking, and really been the inspiration for the Culinary Institute of the Pacific that we are working very hard to complete. And then finally, Carol Hiyashino, and I know that Senator Schatz had talked, but you know, I have to say, I was fortunate enough to be at that signing ceremony with Carol and President Barack Obama. And you know, it really is a story about how individuals here in the islands can make a difference to truly change the trajectory of our country and the world. So I really just wanted to recognize all of our honorees here this evening. It reminds us about how special a place Hawaii is. And I think most importantly, it allows us to be inspired by your accomplishments, but most importantly, it will inspire the generations and the future generations to come. So mahalo, congratulations, aloha.
Thank you so much, Governor Ige. And now what we all have been looking forward to this evening, as the governor alluded to, be ready to be inspired. We turn to our distinguished 2019 Spirit of Aloha honorees. Our first honoree has dedicated her personal and professional career to bridging Hawaii and Japan. Her commitment to the JCCH is evident through her service on the board of directors and through her recent co-chairing of the Ganemono celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's first honoree, Christine Kubota.
I'm a foreign-born American. My father is born and raised in Hawaii. I went to Japan after the war, met my mother who is Japanese, and fell in love and decided to stay in Japan. I was born and raised in Yokohama, where the Ganemono came from. All foreign-born Americans had to return to the United States before they were 27. So I applied at Chaminade here in Honolulu and lived in the dorm. It was very difficult. I didn't understand a word they were saying. Where you grad from? I'm thinking, what is that? I don't understand. Where you grad from? Where you grad from? So my first goal in life was to learn Pidgin. So I hung out with a bunch of guys from Lanai and learned Pidgin. and I became a travel agent. I love to travel, so my goal in life was to take Hawaii people to Japan on trips. As a young person, I always thought I would like to be a bridge to Japan, and therefore I thought the travel industry would be a great way. I was bilingual when I came here. A lot of people needed bilingual assistance, translating assistance, so I ended up translating a lot for lawyers. Every time I would translate for a client and for an attorney, I would lose. I used to ask the attorneys, why do we lose? I don't understand. And so one of the lawyers that I worked for said, go to law school. So I said, okay, I will. So at the age of 30, I returned to school.
But she became very valuable to us, especially in part, because that was just about during the Japanese bubble, when they're buying everything. And she had language capabilities.
Most of my clients, about 90% of my clients are Japanese from Japan. So I help them to come, I help them to get established, I help them to set up shop, I help them with their contracts, I help their kids go to school, teach them about driver's licenses. And then I joined the chamber. After I became a lawyer, I joined the chamber. I joined United Japanese Society and, of course, the Japanese Culture Center. And I learned more, not about taking what is here there, but also bringing what is there here and then mixing it with what was already established here.
So I think her biculturalism really brings a special perspective to everything that she does.
She was one of the key persons for this preparation of the Ganemono year. She brought many people to the preparation of this events. She was very energetic.
It was a huge undertaking, I think, for our community. And under her leadership and others, we were able to have a really, really successful symposium.
The reason why I was motivated is because the more history I read, the more interested it became. And of course, they were from Yokohama, so I didn't know anything about that. So that really inspired me.
The importance of the Ganemono really was to honor the first immigrants that came here. But I think more than that, you know, it really helped us understand how we came to where we are today.
I personally thought that if we didn't do something today, by the 200th, maybe a lot of it would be lost.
JCCH is honoring Christine because of her deep commitment to the local Japanese community. She steps up to take leadership positions as board chair of the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce, the United Japanese Society of Hawaii, and the Japanese Culture Center of Hawaii. Part of it is because her energy is so infectious. She inspires others to get involved. I myself have been on 2 of the boards that she's actually led.
She is Aloha. When people meet her, everybody likes her. A lot of it is because she has a giving spirit. They detect immediately she cares about them. And therefore, that's the spirit of Aloha. You care about me, I care about you, we share.
I really wanted to give back to the community, and without the support of my office and my partners, I was not able to do that, so I just want to thank them.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christine Kubota.
Okay. Governor Ige, Mrs. Ige, Mayor Caldwell, Mrs. Caldwell, Senator Schatz, Senator Case, Senator Wachi, all of my friends, my colleagues, my nakama. I just watched the video for the first time. Ryan, thank you very much. It was a really great video. Don't you think a little girl from Yokohama, Japan came a long way? Thank you very much, guys. I now know that my life mission is to be a part of the bridge between Hawaii and Japan. And one thing I learned in Hawaii was to share the Aloha spirit with the world. I'm really humbled tonight to be a part of this group of esteemed honorees that share this mission in different ways. The Honolulu Little League team with their youthful power and enlightening coach. Alan Oshima with his leadership skills and brilliance. Alan Wong for his culinary perfections and influence. Len Sakata for his grand legacy. And of course, Carol Hayashino for navigating the many volunteers and staff to do the best job ever to put JCCH and the Japanese American legacy of Hawaii on the map. JC told me I only have 3 minutes, and that's really, really hard for me. So too bad they can't fire me anymore. I want to thank the silent auction donors and the table sponsors because I bug you guys all the time. いつも本当に I keep bugging you. 買ってください、買ってください. Give me something, give me something. So I won't do it for another 6 months only. But thank you very much. I'm really touched for those that donated to JCCH on my behalf. Thank you very much. I want to thank Carol and Wendy for teaching me and leading me on my nonprofit journey. Without them, I'm not here. Thank you, Dennis and Damon Key, for funding and understanding that journey. My office partners are here tonight. I really want to thank them. Without them, I wouldn't, again, be here. Consul General Ito, いろいろありがとうございました。優しいお言葉すいません。ありがとうございました。As I was today, I'm sorry, I'm over 3 minutes, JC, but I'm going to talk real quick. As I was in the foyer today, I met so many people, JWSF, Pan Pacific, JTB, everybody. I mean, it's all these nonprofit people that I met through the chamber, UJS. It's just so wonderful. I just love it. And I totally encourage all of you to support all nonprofit groups, but of course, especially JCCH. To my friends, fellow board members, and community leaders, thank you for your support and management. And finally, to my family, my honey, although we had a big fight earlier, my 2 dogs, my 3 Bondance Kingyos, my sister, and my mom who passed last year at age 92. She's watching us. I'm sure she's smiling. My dad. And Oji-chan and Oba-chan, the last picture that you saw was my grandmother that I never met, but I just think she's really cool. And for just giving me the most perfect environment from which to learn and share. So thank you all, and aloha.
Once again, congratulations, Christine Kubota. Our next honoree, or rather honorees, epitomize the very best in sportsmanship and integrity. As a team, they made our state so proud and offered a welcome and thrilling distraction from Hurricane Lane. Coach Oda and the 2018 Little League team exemplify our shared values of humility and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, our next honorees, Coach Gerald Oda and the 2018 Little League World Series champions.
Swings at the first one, sends it deep to right, sends it over the wall. What a start for Hawaii. There you have it. Hawaii wins it. Nuka oi Hawaii. Hawaii is the best.
What made this team special is how they work together. They really bought in that whole concept of we greater than me. You know, everyone really understood their roles, and it was amazing that how these kids really bought in and they really stuck together.
For over 25 years, Coach Oda has inspired hundreds of players to play with aloha and humility.
So I have an older brother, Donovan, that used to play baseball at the University of Hawaii back in the late 80s, early 90s. And after he graduated from the university, one of his friends asked him if he wanted to coach Little League Baseball. So he went and he asked me and my brother Keith to join him in coaching, and since that time, you know, we've never stopped coaching. You know, I have the opportunity now, and I get some of the kids that I've coached when they were 12 are coaching their own sons now. You know, and I think it's always a great thing to see. Growing up, me and my 2 other brothers, baseball was always an escape for us. You know, I had parents that worked 2 jobs, so they really didn't have much time for us. But baseball for us was our chance to really be kids and have fun, you know. So when I look back at my baseball career, I wasn't a very good baseball player, but I have a lot of good baseball memories because I had a lot of good coaches growing up. Best thing about coaching is actually having that opportunity to build a relationship with these kids. You know, winning games is great, don't get me wrong, but the best thing about it is seeing when these kids grow up and they become good men.
Our coach is a very good person, teaches you a lot about baseball and about life as well. The most important lesson was not to be selfish and to work as a team.
That's not always about you, it's always about playing for each other. Before I came on the team, I was all about myself and trying to win games, but he taught me that it's not only about me and that the team, you have to come as a team to win.
Here we are, we're playing the Little League World Series. The kids are fulfilling their dreams, and back home, you know, people are facing their nightmare because here comes Hurricane Lane coming down. And so how we explain it to the kids is that here we are, 4,000 miles away. People back home are worried about a hurricane hitting them, yet they're still sending support and love back to us and playing this game. So we really stress to the kids that, you know, when we step on the field, we're not just representing Honolulu Little League, we're representing this whole state of Hawaii. And this is our one opportunity that we have chance to really show our gratitude for that, you know, that for those 2 hours that they get to watch us play on baseball, let's do something that they can smile about.
Of course we're scared because we have family back home. It's just that Coach Joe just pushed us and just kept us going and just let us have fun and just let us live through the moment.
Coach Oda told us to play for our people back home and make them proud. Coach told us to hang on to the rope. So like come together as a team and like no matter what, just play your hardest. I like how Coach Joe told us just love each other and hold on to the rope and have a great day.
There you have it. Hawaii wins it.
JCCH is honoring Coach Oda and the team not only for winning the World Series, but the way they carried themselves doing it. They were very respectful, very humble, but they still competed very hard and showed the pride.
He tells us like to not gloat during games if we win and stay humble. Even when we won the championship World Series game, he told us to stay humble.
They just did it with such class, and for kids that age to come out in that way, it really says something about those kids as well as the coach.
Because Coach Gerald helped me through a lot of stuff. He helped our team through struggles, and he just was there as a dad for us.
The kids gave me the opportunity to coach them, and it's because of their hard work and their efforts that I was able to, you know, be there, you know, with them and help them celebrate. All I could think of was an appreciation for them and appreciation for all the other kids that I had coached all these years. Because of all those experiences that I had with the prior kids, the prior teams, all culminated in this one moment with this team. Thank you so very much for what they did.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating and welcoming Coach Gerald Oda and the 2018 Honolulu Little League World Series champions.
Aloha. So just on behalf of the parents, the players, and the coaches, just want to say how very grateful and thankful we are for the Japanese Culture Center of Hawaii for giving us this great recognition and honor. You know, we're very, I should say, we're not deserving of it because, you know, this is something, what we did was something that I think any person from Hawaii would do. Right before we left on our trip to Hawaii, we had the great opportunity, and you know, the Mayor Cardwell graciously invited our team up into his office. And, you know, at first I thought, 15, 20 minutes max, we're gonna be in the mayor's office and we're gonna be gone. But really, the mayor really took his time and really spoke to every single one of us, and we stayed there over an hour. And what he did was really stress to us the importance of not just us representing Honolulu Little League, but our responsibility to really represent everyone in the state of Hawaii. And he shared with us three things. He said, first, Be fierce competitors, just like in the spirit of the Nisei 442nd Battalion that had that go for broke spirit and never give up. Fight like them. Second, always show love, compassion, and respect for one another, but more importantly, for our opponents. And third, he said, don't be tantara, be. So really, those are three things that, really struck a chord with not only myself, the coaches and the players, and but also the parents as well. And really, one of the things that don't get recognized enough is that someone once asked me, what was the key to having a great team like this? I said, easily, you find players with great parents. And I think these are the values that these kids actually learn at home. And it was our great responsibility to showcase this to the rest of the world, how great our state of Hawaii is and how we can all become ambassadors of Aloha. So again, thank you so very much for bestowing this honor to our team. Congratulations to the rest of the honorees, and thank you so, so very much for making this a most memorable night for all of us. Much mahalo.
What an inspiring team. Thank you again. Congratulations to Coach Oda and the 2018 Honolulu Little League champions. Honolulu Little League team, rather, the world champions. Growing up in Kalihi and understanding the importance of education from an early start, our next honoree continues to help level the education playing field and improve our public schools. He is a respected business and community leader. Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree, Alan Oshima.
My grandparents came from Japan. My grandparents on my mother's side, the Torigoi family, settled in Kurdistan, Hawaii, and they came as contract laborers for Puna Sugar. My mother had a photo of the family in front of their home, I would guess in about 1920, with the proud possession being a Model T Ford. And she explained to me that her father was able to buy the car and then ran a taxi business. So that was his way out of the plantation. That's what he did. My grandmother was always the one really pushing education. I grew up in Kalihi and a proud graduate of Farrington High School. Growing up in Kalihi, and even back then, the media was very harsh on Kalihi. If you were from Kalihi, then you were labeled as maybe being on the other side of the tracks or not as capable or whatever. And so we fought hard to overcome that.
After graduating from Farrington High School, he went to Northwestern University and then served as a Supply Corps officer in the United States Navy, and then got his law degree from the University of California, Hastings College of Law.
Well, my family truly values education because of, like many immigrant families, because it was the way out. And so we were all expected to go to college.
Oshima now serves as Chief Executive Officer, President, and Director of Hawaiian Electric Company.
I think he's a visionary, not only in his own field, but he's a visionary in public education. Alan's support of public education has really been long time and very deep. I'm just amazed at how much he knows about our school system.
My father was very community-minded and made sure that we knew that we had to do something for the community also.
He brought to light really the importance of public school facilities. So he really focused HIPA on initiating an effort to look at the status of public schools in Hawaii. And he recognized that, the average age of a public school was 65 years old, and facilities do matter. When you're sitting in a classroom out in the west side with 100-degree temperature, you can't focus.
We cannot keep denying that we have to do something, and we have to find creative ways to make it happen.
Act 155, which was passed by the legislature called the 21st Century Schools, was an act that he promoted, lobbied for, and is bird dogging to make sure that it's implemented. And nobody would have ever thought of using school property for commercial purposes and then using the money to improve the school.
I think my dad believes so strongly in supporting public education because he believes that education can be a great equalizer. I think that my dad sent us to public school because he truly believed in the quality of education that we would get in the public school system.
So both Emily and Rob went through public schools, are great people, good citizens, and successful in their lives.
Often some of us sit back and say, where are the leaders in Hawaii? And Alan's name always comes up when you ever talk about leaders.
JCCH is pleased to honor Alan Oshima as a great community leader. He has shown the spirit of Aloha in his firm belief in equal access to a good education.
Very generous and kind, as well as inspirational leader.
I am so proud of him, and I'm really happy that he's been able to do so much in the community and for our family, and yeah, congratulations, Dad.
In America, we're a nation of immigrants, there has to be a levelizer. That's fundamentally why we need a really, really sound public education system.
Please welcome Mr. Alan Oshima.
So my daughter Emily must have a lot of power because the sound just couldn't take her. Aloha. First, I want to thank the JCCH for this acknowledgement. I'm really grateful to be a part of this evening and the honorees tonight. And I really want to ask who put me after Coach Gerald Oda? You know, the honorees tonight all have something to share, their Japanese heritage, being from Hawaii, and everything that we learn about being Japanese Americans from Hawaii. You saw some of my story in the video, and I'll share the rest of the story. You saw my mother's family proudly standing with the Model T in Kurdistan, Hawaii. It was their way out of the plantation. My grandfather started what I understand to be a taxi business. And the statute of limitations has already run on any kind of regulation. I don't know what it took to run a taxi business in Hilo. I'm sure he didn't have all the necessary papers, but it's long gone. 3 of my uncles in that photo stood on the shoulders of 2 of their brothers who stayed back in Hawaii to work so that they could go to mainland colleges. Now, this was in the early 1900s. Masao became a doctor. Masao became an electrical engineer. Masamichi, a doctor, and Takeo, a pharmacist. That's pretty incredible. But there's a dark side. When Uncle Masao came back to Hilo, he couldn't find a job as an engineer because Japanese just couldn't be hired as professionals back then. Our generation didn't know about the ceiling because it was never shared with us until Uncle Masao retired as a police officer in Ola'a. He really showed us the meaning of a gaman, persevere, do your best to overcome. Far away in Honoka'a, my father was the son of a widow. He never knew his father because his father died when Dad was 6 months old. So what he knew was that he was poor. Christmas was a bag of nuts and fruits from the Salvation Army. And back then on the neighbor islands, going away to school had a special meaning, not what we think of today. It meant that at age 15, he left Honoka'a to come to Honolulu to find a job so he could attend McKinley High School. He became the yard boy for Dr. Fleming in Liliha. Dr. Fleming's family was very generous. They offered to send my dad to college, but my Oshima Obacha needed him back on the Big Island. So Dad's higher education was working for S. Hata and Company in downtown Hilo in sales positions at S. Hata. He later became a very good salesman, not only from S. Hata, but in jobs in Honolulu, where he met my mother. They started their own business. We lived above the business in Kalihi for many years. We helped our parents throughout, but they made sure that we understood that our job was to get a good education, to go to college, and to help others. We knew we had to make our own way and to work hard. My sisters became teachers, but none made teaching a career. In fact, our youngest sister became the executive producer of a very well-known, popular TV series in LA. I followed a more conventional path and became a lawyer. In the 1990s, I was asked by AmFac to represent it in a very big water case, the first in Hawaii, on the division of water rights when the plantation was going to shut down. The struggle was to find out how much water should go to leeward farmers and how much water should be returned to windward streams. My father was glued to the television to watch daytime TV because the hearings were broadcast on Olelo. One afternoon, while one of my sisters was visiting him, she saw his eyes well up with tears as he shared that he would never have imagined that any of his children would become, one, a lawyer, and two, represent one of the big 5 companies. It was unimaginable to him that in just 2 generations, the grandson of contract laborers, the nephew of the electrical engineer who couldn't get a job back in Hawaii because he was Japanese American, the grandson of the poor widow who sent her teenage youngest son to Honolulu to find a job to work his way to get his high school degree, could be representing one of the biggest companies in Hawaii. Obviously, he was moved and proud. I tell you this because education gave us, all 3 generations, the opportunities. And our 4th generation has had the same privilege. The Issei and Nisei had grit. We stood on their shoulders to get where we are. We have to provide the same lift to others. America is a nation of immigrants. We honor them by doing what we can to make public education a reality so our keiki can realize their best and fullest potential. As proud as my dad was of me and my sisters, I am prouder of the life and values he and my mom gave to us. Mahalo for letting me share this with you. Thank you, JCCH. Aloha.
Congratulations again, Alan Oshima. It's fitting to have our next honoree alongside the 2018 Little League World Series champions. His success as a Major League Baseball player and manager broke barriers and helped pave the way for generations of Hawaii athletes to shoot for the stars. He is a World Series champion, a coach, and a leader on and off the field. Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree, Len Sakata.
My father, I believe he was in the 522, the artillery unit. He never talked about it, see, he never told me that that's what he did. He just didn't want to talk about World War II. I'm very proud that the last generation gave everybody the opportunity to be what we are today, you know, and I still reflect on that and am very proud of that, yeah.
Len Sakata is a third-generation Japanese-American from Honolulu. Sakata was a member of the Baltimore Orioles' 1983 World Series championship team and the first player from Hawaii to play in the World Series.
My interest in baseball really was derived from, you know, my uncle, Jack Lodger, was playing in Japan when I was very young, and so when he came home, he stayed with another uncle and would leave his equipment behind. So at a very young age, like 3, 4, 5, I was already, you know, associating myself with baseball by picking up bats and balls and gloves.
After playing baseball at Kalani High School and Gonzaga University, Sakata signed with the Milwaukee Brewers in 1974. Sakata was one of the first Asian Americans to play Major League Baseball.
But it was difficult for us, especially, you know, being a minority. And that was the way the game, you know, was, and that's the thing we had to accept, you know. But it was a level playing field on the field. I think that was what was most important.
You know, Lenny is like the Jackie Robinson of, you know, for Hawaii players, especially, you know, Asian players. He paved the way for a lot of people after him to try to be like, you know, try to play in the big leagues and play in the World Series. So that was special.
And then in the bottom of the 10th, with 2 men on and the game tied, who else but Len Sakata delivered the big blow, bringing victory for the little guys.
Here's the 1-1. Fly ball down the left field line, and it is gone! Home run! Len Sakata! And the Orioles win this game on a Len Sakata home run to left. Memorial Stadium is going crazy.
It's as if we were there with him. And we have a lot of friends that, again, idolize Lenny. At one time, Lenny was considered the best defensive second baseman in the big leagues. So he got to the highest level.
First got to meet Lenny when I was playing at the University of Hawaii, and he came out to help us out with some practices, and he actually coached us.
And I've always said Lenny played a big part in that building of that program, because Hawaii in the 70s and 80s were a national power. And I thought Lenny played a big part in getting us there.
You know, it's not just physicality that allows you to succeed, it's a skill game, and so you have to know how to play it.
After an 11-year career in the major leagues, he coached in Japan and California, eventually becoming the winningest manager in the history of minor league baseball's California League.
My initial thing of going to college was to become a coach. So as I got better, improved, and I became good enough to play, I decided to go that route first. And then when it came time to retire, I obviously wanted to stay in the game because I love baseball.
After his playing career was over and started coaching professionally, he really started working with a lot of young players in the community.
He definitely took me under his wing coming out of high school. He'd always take us all out to Kahala Field, and we'd all practice. And it would range from high schoolers to college to local professional players.
And he's never asked for compensation. On several occasions I told him maybe you should get paid for these things, but he's never asked for compensation, never looks for accolades.
He wants to see local players succeed. I mean, he's local born, so he wants, you know, people from Hawaii to succeed. He was the manager of the San Jose Giants, and I was called up. And I remember the first game I got there, I got to the dugout, and he was like, "Rick, you're in next inning." So I had to go and warm up real quick, you know, came back out there and went out on the mound, and then when he came out to take me out of the game, it was just proud seeing him walking out, and I mean, it is something I'll never forget.
JCCH is honoring Len Sakata for being a pioneer as both a player and a manager. And what's really fascinating about him is he's
never really forgotten Hawaii. He was always held up as an example. So even though I didn't know him personally, his story taught us what was possible.
And if you go out and work hard and try to become good and leave no stone unturned, then you have possibilities of making it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Len Sakata.
Okay, thank you very much. When JCCH called me, I was thinking that because I'm not a good public speaker, that it would be easy just to go down to Mo'ili and meet 50 people, shake some hands, and then get my box of arare and go home. But this is rather intimidating because I'm not very good at it. I'm almost rather face Goose Gossage at Yankee Stadium that night with the lights off. But I do have a speech written, and of course my wife helped me. And that's important because you know what they say, a happy wife is a happy life. Okay? So anyway, first of all, I would like to thank the staff and volunteers of the JCCH, as well as all of tonight's distinguished speakers. Like many of us here tonight, I'm a descendant of immigrants who came here to work on the plantation. They worked incredibly hard to build the foundation we stand on today. I'm most grateful to the men of the 442nd and 522nd. My father was in the 522nd. And for the service and sacrifice that allowed us to pursue dreams that probably might not have been possible. I was inspired by those who preceded me, men like, of course, my Uncle Jack, Bill Nishita, Alan Yamamoto, Wally Onomini, Carlton Hunter, who all played in Japan professionally. I was also impacted by local guys, my amateur coaches, Russian Cabral, Herb Okamura, Masa Yonomini, and of course, Les Murakami. The men I followed to the big leagues also were impactful. Johnny Matias from Farrington, Mike Lump from Roosevelt, and Ryan Kurosaki, my ex-high school teammate from Kalani. All of them and many others provided me with the motivation to dream bigger, and I'm very grateful to them. I'm proud of my heritage and the culture here. I thank you so much for including me with these prestigious honorees tonight. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations again to Len Sakata. I think we'd all agree that Hawaii inspires people in different ways. Our next honoree took his inspiration from the rich heritage of foods and ingredients unique to our islands to create a signature style of cooking to share with the world. His humility both in and out of the kitchen and his willingness to mentor the next generation of culinary artists reflects his Japanese heritage and the value of okage-sama de. Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree, Chef Alan Wong.
My mom was born in Japan and came to Hawaii when I was 5 years old in 1961. So I was born in Japan too. Basically, that is the okage-sama de. Her early struggles being a single mom, coming to Hawaii, living in our Chinese grandparents' house at first, giving us the American education, the American opportunity. I started off as a dishwasher at the old Don the Beachcomber restaurant in Waikiki. And so one day, somebody came to me and gave me some great advice. He says, if you want to be a great restaurant manager or a food and beverage manager one day, you got to know you got to know the kitchen. You see the guy behind there in the line? He can run circles around you because you know nothing about food, you know nothing about the kitchen. And so I went to school at KCC. I actually grew up thinking that bread came out of a package and salad dressing came out of a bottle. You know, so it really got me excited. It really got me thinking turned on, and I never left the kitchen since then.
Wong worked at Lutece in New York City under mentor Audrey Soltner.
It was a 4-story brownstone house. It was small, and they used to bring the produce from the back door. The chef would check it in, look at it, and it was the best ingredients. And I said, it'd be cool one day if I could have one of these restaurants, where we're using local ingredients. I was away from Hawaii for about over 5 years. I spent 3 years at Lutece. Francis Seeger was the one that took a chance on me. He's one of the founding brothers, he and Charlie, of the Zippy's chain of restaurants. I owe so much gratitude. I would ask him, hey, what you think, bro? You think this is the right decision? No parking, 3rd story, we're breaking all the rules, and even Francis gave me the advice, Alan, don't worry, just cook, they're gonna come. So that's how this restaurant was born on tax day, April 15, 1995.
He is one of the original 12 members of the Hawaii Regional Cuisine Movement that brought chefs and farmers together so that farmers will grow and chefs can buy more locally grown foods so we don't have to import as much to Hawaii, and Hawaii can be more sustainable.
Why do I like to support local? The biggest one is when you come to the restaurant, I want you to taste Hawaii. So what is Taste Hawaii? Well, we want to feature as much local product, fruits and vegetables and produce from Hawaii. We use the fish from our waters first.
Numerous awards and accolades have followed, including the opportunity to cook for President Obama at the annual White House Congressional Picnic.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I would say he's a chef par excellence, but to reduce it to one word is heart. He returns to the community with his heart in fundraisers such as the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival.
Through the festival, it's extremely important to Alan that the 200 culinary students who volunteer from the various community colleges throughout the state has the opportunity to rub shoulders and learn from the 120 world-class chefs who come from all over the world to participate. The festival has also raised $2.4 million to date, in which $1.2 million has gone to the new CIP campus and the culinary colleges around the state, with another $1.2 million going to Hawaii Acts Foundations for various educational programs involving kids and to the Native Hawaiian nonprofits that take care of our land and sea. Hey, Buli, congratulations for being recognized and honored for all you have contributed to our community and to our state. You're a great chef, but even a greater human being.
He requires employees to tour JCCH's exhibits.
They take that tour because we're trying to teach them the same values of persistence, of gratitude, of appreciation, and a big word for me is, especially when I think about my mom, okage samade. We are who we are because of people before us. And without my mom moving from Japan to Hawaii, I would not be here. So the courage that it took to come here with her 2 kids alone, that's a story in itself for another chapter. And so for that, I would be forever grateful too. So thank you, Mom.
Please give a warm aloha to Chef Alan Wong.
Aloha, everybody. I want to say thank you very much to all of the people and volunteers of the JCCH and the Japanese Cultural Center. Thank you for making this happen. I'm very humbled and honored for this recognition. As well, congratulations to all the other honorees tonight. Short story. Actually, I found my first passion at 10 years old. I was a 10-year-old, eager Little League baseball player for the first time. I mean, I used to be a kid that used to sleep with his brand new glove. That was me, but obviously I'm not up here because of my baseball skills. You know, we do take our staff down to the Cultural Center for training purposes. And for the most part, John Oktani, I think he's here tonight, you know, he takes his staff on a tour. And we want to teach our staff our history, what happened, and make them aware of the sacrifices and contributions of the earliest Japanese coming to Hawaii. We pay homage to our ancestors and try to teach our staff the immigrant and plantation history of Hawaii. Because it is there that I like to look for inspiration in my cooking style. For example, if you're a young French culinary student, the chef might tell you, go look in the Escoffier book, which was the Bible of classical cooking back then. But I say to our young local cooks, be proud of your heritage. Let's revisit local ethnic cooking, refresh it, and show everybody what Hawaii really is and make Hawaii a better place. So that's the reason why we take them down there, as well as the Hawaii Plantation Village, and learn who came here. You know, in fact, Hawaii regional cuisine, in my opinion, was actually born way back in that time. Obviously, my favorite saying from the Cultural Center is, "Okage-sama de." I am who I am because of you. And there's so many people that I am grateful for and appreciative of, and I'm going to repeat it again because it's so important. My mom, Okage-sama de. Thank you, Mom. You know, it was a very courageous decision that in 1961 she would take my sister and I, Bev, from Japan to pursue an American education. And for that, thank you again, Mom. You know, I'm not up here because of my baseball skills. I am up here because of the restaurant. And I have been blessed and fortunate to have worked with a lot of successful people. From the very beginning, in 1995 to now, we're in our 25th year. And they have made the restaurant what it is today. And so for them, Okage-sama de, because you made the restaurant what it is today. And actually, I accept the award and recognition on behalf of all of them. Roy Yamaguchi, thank you very much for those kind words, brother. Did I see a glass in your hand when you did that interview? Anyway, Roy Yamaguchi, Denise, his wife, the CEO of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival, I think Aya's here, and some others. Awesome job, because what the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival does, it puts a spotlight onto Hawaii. Our culture, our food, our people, and basically what we eat. Do you know that most of the world thinks that what we eat in Hawaii is when you put a pineapple on a burger, it's a Hawaiian burger. Pineapple on a pizza, it's a Hawaiian pizza. Or everything we eat is Spam and macadamia nuts. And so the festival is very important to the state of Hawaii because it shows the chefs coming here cooking with local product. It shows all the guests coming to the festival events who we really are. Anyway, I am very happy, blessed and fortunate. There's so many people to thank. I'm not going to be able to thank all of them. Thank you, Lee, for taking care of me at work. Alice, thank you for taking care of me at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and another congratulations to Chef Alan Wong. Finally, tonight, we come to the recipient of the Spirit of JCCH Award. From an early age, her awareness of the impact of incarceration of her family during World War II drove Carol to fight for redress, commit to fighting injustice on behalf of not only citizens of Japanese ancestry, but all minorities, and she dedicated the past 7 years to fulfilling JCCH's mission and vision. JCCH is honored to be presenting one of their own with this year's Spirit of JCCH Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Hayashino.
My grandparents on my father's side immigrated from both Nara and Hiroshima, and my mother's side is from Fukuoka. And they both ended up in Stockton, California. That very day, my grandfather Hayashino was picked up by local authorities, by I think the police and FBI, and he was taken to county jail. And eventually, as all Japanese Americans on the West Coast, they were rounded up, they were sent, they reported to the Stockton Buddhist Church, and then eventually were at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds, and then sent to Roar, Arkansas. My grandmother gave birth to my uncle, who was the 5th child in the family, in the horse stall. I grew up with those stories, and I knew it forever changed their lives, and it had impact on my life. It was when I became an undergraduate student at San Francisco State, and I met Edison Uno and took a class in the newly formed Asian American Studies program, that I began to learn more about what happened. Edison was my mentor and a good friend of mine, and Edison Uno is really credited as being the father or grandfather of redress. He was first to introduce this concept. When he passed away, others continued the effort.
Carol Hayashino played an instrumental role in redress for Japanese Americans. She was actually the Deputy National Director for the Japanese American Citizens League.
When President Reagan signed the bill, my father had already passed away. My grandfathers had passed away. My grandmother had passed away. It was a very bittersweet moment.
Carol was working at Sacramento State University. She was, I think, the highest ranked Asian American woman in California.
And one day I received a telephone call from Kurt Osaki, an old friend of mine.
When I heard about the position at the JCCH opening. And to be honest, the first person that came to mind was Carol.
And so there was a lot of debate within the board to decide whether we want to stay local or take a chance on someone with more national perspective. And after a lot of debate, the board decided, and we all concurred, that we would go with Carol.
She had to sacrifice a lot being away from her family and her husband. She took the job because she realized it's something she really wanted to do.
Carol came to the JCCH in 2012. And this was a time when the Hawaii internment story was being rediscovered.
She knew that we'd been at it for a number of years, but we really needed someone to come in with the skills to help Honouliuli become preserved.
During the same time we are working to establish this Honouliuli Advisory Committee for the state, at the same time we're beginning to show the documentary, The Untold Story.
And the greatest thing really was when the film came out, she really pushed for JCCH to share it with the community. We did community screenings on all the islands. We were in the film festival. You know, a lot of people in the public began to learn about these stories from World War II and this sort of forgotten era.
I think she worked on it at several different levels by getting many grants to fund tours to the site, to develop a curriculum for local high schools, also to go out in the community with a lot of outreach events, and to spearhead a over 6,000 signature petition that was delivered to the Obama administration.
And in 2015, again, through her leadership, her tenacity, was able to get President Obama to designate Honouliuli as a national monument.
And this puts us on a more national and global scale. So that to me was very important in what she brought to the JCCH, more than just a local entity here in Hawaii.
She brought Ellison Onizuka's exhibit to JCCH. I got to see the moon rock. How exciting is that? And it's bringing the center to a modern day.
She was able to keep his story alive, not just for his family, but for our rich history about a very, very prominent Japanese American.
Last year was the 150th anniversary of the arrival of Japanese immigrants to Hawaii. And Carol took the occasion to invite a very diverse group of people, over 50 of them, to JCCH to share in the celebration. These were individuals who are living descendants of a single Ganen Mono immigrant. Many of them learned the story of Japanese immigration for the first time.
And we began then to do interviews of various family members. And it's, you know, it's kind of word of mouth. You talk to one person, it leads to another person, it leads to another person, it leads to another person. And that's how the video and the oral histories of the Ganen Mono descendants really began to grow and come together.
In 2018, Hayashino personally greeted Japan's Prince Akishino and his wife Princess Kiko when they visited Honolulu to participate in the 150th anniversary of Ganen Mono.
Taken together, I think the most significant and meaningful aspect of my experience has been meeting all these wonderful people and having the opportunity to work with so many wonderful people, from the staff, from the volunteers, from my friends, whether they were doing graphic design or filmmaking or exhibits. As a community, we worked hard to make a difference. And I think together we brought change.
She's a great communicator, a great planner. She just was in the right place at the right time, the right person.
Carol made people believe in things, believe in that we could do things that we never expected to do.
She took her passion to fulfill her vision for the Japanese Cultural Center.
I think she really has courage, because it really didn't matter how difficult. She would always take it on and work through it.
I think she was the perfect person for the Culture Center.
She was the right president at the right time.
I hope that we can still have a little piece of Carol in Hawaii, and hey, maybe she'll do another project that's down the road.
I really hope that she'll come back to Hawaii and we can do a few more projects together, because I really feel like there are more stories out there that we need to share.
An honor to call you a true friend and sister.
She's strengthened the Japanese community in Hawaii, and she's made the Japanese community in Hawaii and JCCH relevant not only in Hawaii, but nationally and internationally with all of the projects that she's worked on.
All these stories and historical activities are now a part of the Hawaii fabric, and that's really a gift that she's provided to the people of Hawaii.
We're very proud of her.
And any success that I've had or that JCCH has enjoyed the past 7 years is because of these people, because of this network. Jane Kuwahara always talks about the unsung heroes. And this is my opportunity to thank all those unsung heroes. So thank you very much. Okage-sama de.
Please give a warm aloha to JCCH President Emeritus Carol Hayashino as we honor her with the Spirit of JCCH Award tonight.
Good evening. Governor Ige, Senator Schatz, Congressman Ed Case, Consul General Ito, Governor Ariyoshi, my friends, honorees, and friends of JCCH, good evening. The past 7 years have been quite a journey. From the White House to the set of Hawaii Five-0. I became a kabuki star in the first all-woman cast of the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce's production, New Year's production, Gonen Otoko, and I was the best actor in that year. I shook the hand of President Obama, the hand of Japanese Prime Minister Abe, and I gave a lei to Prince Akashino. I held one of Sadako Sasaki's paper cranes in my hand. Really, memories of a lifetime. But my cherished memories also include receiving a flowered lei from Nisei veteran Herb Yamamura, reconnecting with my longtime JACL friend Bill Kaneko and his wife Reina, working with the Hawaii Japanese Center in Hilo, and enjoying the world's best chicken with Arnold and Elo Hira. That's true. And listening to George and Willett Tanabe lecture about Japanese Buddhist temples, watching mother-daughter Shira and Shiri Tamura perform at the Kauai Matsuri. Incredible memories. I can still hear the beat of the taiko drum at the special Obon service in Honouliuli. And I can still recall taking Lorna Onizuka and her daughters on a private tour through the Japanese Cultural Center and watching Lorna touch Ellison's flight jacket and check to see what was left in his pockets. Memories of a lifetime. And I'm so grateful to the Japanese Cultural Center. And I do want to thank a number of people, beginning with Kurt Otoguro, Tyler Tokioka, and Brennan Morioka. These were JCCH board members who took a chance on hiring a katonk, an AJA Sansei woman from California, to lead the Japanese Cultural Center. And when I arrived at the JCCH, I was met with a very skeptical staff. They were cautious, suspicious, scared, had doubts about me and the changes I might bring. But we quickly came together as a team. So Michelle, Denise, Christy, Jana, Derek, Lay, Tim, Nate, Audrey, Ken, thank you for hanging in there with me. I share this award with you. The dedication of the staff was matched only by the dedicated core of volunteers, and I'm so honored to have a number of them in the room with me this evening. Jane, Betsy, Claire, Linda, Gail, Mel, Debbie, John, Les, Maud, Kaoru, Yoko, Gail, and Mr. Hayashi. They represent the 200 plus volunteers that work and help us out at the Japanese Cultural Center every day, every week, every month. And it's these volunteers, actually, not me, it was these volunteers that rediscovered Honouliuli. It is these volunteers that run the gift shop, that work the resource center, that have developed curriculum, that have led 6,000 students, children, through our historic exhibit, Okage-sama-de. They've translated and published Families Torn Apart, Haisho Tenten, and Resilient Spirit, 3 publications. And it was the Japanese-speaking docents that led Prince and Princess Akishino through Okage-sama and through the Honouliuli Education Center. So to the Japanese Cultural Center volunteers, thank you. I also had the good fortune to work with and learn from a number of JCCH partners, including Osaki Creative, Edward Enterprises, Monsanto, Bayer, JTB Hawaii, Island Insurance, Big Island Candies, Kauai Cookies, the list goes on and on. Kinetics, Ryan Kawamoto, thank you for your friendship, for your advice and support throughout the past 7 years. And I learned what it meant to be part of the Japanese community in Hawaii by working with community leaders like David Arakawa and Cyrus Tamashiro, Kathy Inkanen, Cherie Tamura, Faith Shigemura, Reina Kaneko, so many of them here this evening, and organizations such as the Japanese Consulate, the United Japanese Society of Hawaii, U.S.-Japan Council, the Japanese Women's Society Foundation, Yu Shinkai, Japan-America Society, and Nisei Vets. I thank you all for welcoming me into the community and allowing me to work alongside you. I want to give a special shout out to some incredible women, Ann Kobayashi, Christine Kubota, and Wendy Abe. These 3 women were the first to embrace me, and actually they recruited me to work on the JWSF first Japanese American Women's Leadership Conference when I arrived 7 years ago. And through that process, we became friends and sisters and really friends for life, and thank you so much. Finally, I've been reminded to acknowledge my husband. You see, for the past 7 years, I've lived and worked in Honolulu, and Kyle Tatsumoto, who is from Hawaii, has lived and worked in California. So my husband, Kyle Tatsumoto, is here. My sister and brother-in-law, Gail and Wes. Okay, you can applaud for Kyle. My sister and brother-in-law, Gail and Wes, and members of my San Francisco Bay Area Ohana are here as well. Donna, Eddie, Teresa, Joy, Bruce, Helen, Leah, and Diane. I love you guys. Thank you so much. When the Honolulu Little League team won its World Series last year, there was an article in a magazine called Baseball America, and they wrote a story about the team and about Coach Oda. And they wrote, "For Oda, aloha isn't just a greeting on a honeymoon postcard. It's something you take with you, zip into your airplane luggage, and carry it wherever you go. It's more than a word, it's love." To all of you, thank you for sharing your aloha with me. I will carry your aloha wherever I go. Thank you so much. It was an honor and privilege to lead the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii. Okage-sama de. I am what I am because of you. Thank you.
Once again, thank you and congratulations to Carol Hayashino. We'd like to ask all of our 2019 Spirit of Aloha honorees to stand up and please be recognized. Let's give them all one more big round of applause. For our closing remarks on behalf of JCCH, please welcome President and Executive Director J.C. Mikulanic.
Sorry, I'm going to raise this microphone just a hair. First of all, please give Yunji a round of applause. You have been a wonderful MC tonight, and it's so wonderful to have an incredible woman like you up on stage, so thank you. This is a wonderful room. Friends, this evening has been truly inspiring. Many of you have come to sharing the spirit of Aloha for years, many for the first time, but I hope you'll come away, as I will, with a sense of gratitude and hope. We are who we are as a community, as individuals, because of those who came before us. Okage-sama de. I want to thank our Shogun sponsors this year, Wing Spirit, Island Insurance, Hawaiian Electric, Bear, Hilo Boys, Queen's Health, PAR Hawaii. Your support of JCCH and the honorees is truly appreciated. Thank you also to our Daimyo and Bushi sponsors, and thank you to our JCCH staff and devoted volunteers who have worked for months to make this event happen. Thank you. You really are an incredible group to get to work with. Thanks also to the staff at Hilton Hawaiian Village. You've taken very good care of us tonight. I'd also like to thank the remarkable individuals on the JCCH Board of Directors, Ken Hayashida, our board chair, Tyler Tokioka and Donna Kawano, who helped with the epic silent auction effort, along with Jana and Shannon and all the volunteers who came in on Saturday morning, Jamie Kinoshita Oliveira, Darren Ota, our Gala co-chairs, Mark Ibarra for all of your generosity, Joy Oshiro for your, thank you very much for your donation of time, your resources, and your talent. And to the honorees, many of you we have known and worked with in the past, but tonight we saw a new side of you. We discovered your roots, where you came from, and hopefully we saw a little bit of you in each of us. You're some of the best that Hawaii has to offer, and your excellence demands us all to do more to improve the community that we live in. Coach Oda and team, Christine Kubota, Len Sakata, Chef Alan Wong, Alan Oshima, and of course, Carol Hayashino. On behalf of JCCH, we thank you. Last year, we celebrated the Ganemono, 150 years since the first Japanese immigrants came to Hawaii. Many of you in this room helped in the years-long celebration, and JCCH honored that history at its gala last year. One of those honorees was Donna Tanoe, and she shared comments that have stayed with me to today. To paraphrase, she reflected on the Ganemono, the bravery, the perseverance, the hardship, and the eventual successes that resulted, of which we all benefit from today here in Hawaii. She also called upon us to take account with the world we live in, all of us, the descendants of the Ganemono, the new immigrants to Hawaii, all of us, to make sure we, communally, don't rest on our laurels, but instead reinvest in our community to help those new immigrants to Hawaii find a place and to succeed. And importantly, she called attention to the need to address injustice, whatever form it takes. That is not a simple or singular effort for an organization like JCCH, but it is one that cannot be shied away from. It is one that JCCH going forward must continue to be a part of. Today, immigrant families and children are being detained in facilities, including down at Fort Sill Army Base in Oklahoma, a facility that was once used as an internment or concentration camp for Japanese Americans. In April, JCCH and the National Park Service hosted artist and journalist Setsuko Winchester at the Honouliuli National Historic Site. Her installation of yellow tea bowls at the site drew attention to the ongoing effects of internment and incarceration in our country. This is the work we must continue to do and be involved with, along with continuing the cultural programming and efforts that so many of you have come to know and expect from JCCH. The lives celebrated tonight exemplified the values we all recognize: teamwork, respect, innovation, education, collaboration, entrepreneurship. Let us view these achievements as a challenge to invest in our community and world and embrace our diversity and celebrate our shared future. I'm looking forward to the challenges and new opportunities ahead for the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii. I hope we, the JCCH, can continue to count on your support and guidance as we negotiate an exciting future to come. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, JC, and it is now time for the golden ticket drawing. You must be present to win, so please don't leave just yet. Assisting me with the golden ticket drawing tonight is 2019 Cherry Blossom Queen, Lauren Sugai. Someone tonight is going home with a fabulous golden ticket San Francisco Giants package. It includes 2 owner's seat tickets to a 2020 San Francisco Giants game with a parking pass, exclusive Gotham Club access, a luxurious 2-night stay in a superior room at the Palace Hotel, a luxury collection hotel, and 100,000 Hawaiian Airlines miles to get you there. So here we go. Congratulations to Ryan Kawamoto. He deserves it. He made all those videos. What a wonderful prize. Please come to the stage to accept your award. And congratulations is in order for all of our silent auction winners. The checkout will be open until 9:30 tonight. It is for 2, so someone make friends with him quick. I'm sure he'll take his wife. Congratulations, of course, to our silent auction winners. The checkout will be open until 9:30, so make sure you pick those items before you leave. Make sure you also pay for parking so that line's not too long at the station. You can do so in the lobby right out there. Again, a very special congratulations to all of the honorees. Thank you all for your support of the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii. Until next time, a hui ho, have a safe drive home. Aloha.